single sticking hands with a partner. So you could have been doing that before, on your own, but now you're going to need someone to practice with. If you do not have someone to practice with and you're just watching this, then you can still just practice, choose whether you're in the bottom or the top position, and you can practice along with us. It becomes slightly different now when you're with a training partner because you're utilizing the pressure of the other person to potentiate the actual roll itself. Something you want to keep in mind with Chi-Sao, with all forms of Chi-Sao, is that they're two circles rolling towards each other and they spin due to the forwardness of the direction of those circles. So this is going forward, this is going forward, it meets and they spin, as opposed to just doing this, like just one going up, one going down. Then you have no protection, meaning if Noah in the Tan Sao position, for example, is going forward to me and I'm going forward to him, then our two forces meet and they kind of we stop each other from hitting each other. Whereas if I just go up and he goes forward, he's going to hit me, right? So if I'm just going up or down, he's going to hit me because nothing's actually going forward to stop him, right? And vice versa. If Noah just goes up and I go forward, you see it's going to be very easy for me to just reach through and hit because there's nothing meeting my force. Now that's a real kind of fundamental, but still overlooked by practitioners, where you've got to make sure you are actually going forward and using that forwardness to spin. So let's look how it works. I'll start on bottom position, Noah will start on top position. We have our stances on, yeah? So stance on, spine tall, good. Noah's stance is looking good. Okay. Now from here, I reach forward from my Tan Sao to palm strike. As I go forward to palm strike, this will be slightly different from when you practice on your own, in that now you have another person who's applying Wu Sao. So I won't be able to go straight through to a palm strike as we were individually. I will be more so transitioning through the Tan Sao into the low Bong Sao. So if he's doing his Wu Sao well, my hand won't be able to go right through to a palm strike. It should roll down into the low Bong Sao. So as I go forward to palm strike, he goes to Wu Sao, which makes me spin to the low Bong. If Noah's Wu Sao was terrible, as I went through, I would be able to go right through and hit him, right? But because he's keeping forward, as he points his hand up, it rolls me down to low Bong. Now as Noah from here, I keep my elbow pointing towards his center, I keep my wrist pointing to his center. Now as Noah punches, that spins me up from low Bong to high Bong. Now from here, I turn my Bong Sao to Tan Sao as Noah changes to a Fuk Sao. So as I turn, Noah changes to Fuk Sao, maintaining forward focus, elbow towards me, and keeping that pressure at me. And now we're back at the beginning. So once again, I go to palm strike, Noah uses Wu Sao. He points his fingers up and rolls me down. Noah goes to punch, which spins my arm up. Now I go to Tan Sao as he turns to Fuk, and so on and so forth. Now let's break it down into who initiates, right? Because it is a cooperative exercise and there is a level of initiation from a certain person. So from the Tan Sao, I'm initiating. I go through to do the palm strike, he goes to Wu Sao and rolls me down. Now from the Wu Sao, from Noah's position, now he initiates. I'm keeping my connection towards him, and then as he punches, it rolls my hand from low Bong up to high Bong. Now in this position, once we've reached the high Bong, I'm initiating again. I'm going from Bong and I turn to Tan towards the center. I'm trying to go forward, kind of like a drill. I'm not reaching forward and pushing through really hard. I'm just gently reaching forward as I turn. Now, what Noah's job to do is that as I turn and roll to him, he maintains a forwardness of his Fuk Sao. If Noah just goes kind of down, like you did when we were practicing without a partner, so if Noah actually just kind of goes down, watch how I can quite easily reach through, right? That's because there's no pressure or no direction coming back at me, is probably a better word. So from here, Noah, as he arcs the elbow from the punch, he arcs the elbow to the center, he keeps that inward arc, he maintains a forwardness. That forwardness will be what prevents me from reaching through and creates a kind of cooperative spin of the arms. Stance on, spine tall, chin down. Then once again, my Tan Sao meets his Wu Sao, rolls me down to low Bong Sao. Noah then goes through to punch, which rolls me up to high bong. I initiate tans from bong to tan, where he goes to fuk. Yeah? And then from here, you want to maintain that forward connection the whole time. You don't want to take it off. Otherwise, your training partner is going to reach through. Yeah? And then I initiate from tan to palm. He goes to punch. I go from bong to tan. So basically, I initiate twice. He initiates once. I go from tan through to palm, rolling to low bong. He initiates with his punch. I initiate into tan sao. My initiation again, then Noah does it. Me, Noah. Me, tan sao, me, palm strike, Noah punch. So you can see this sequence there. Now, we'll swap roles so you can just observe it from a different perspective here. So now I'll be top position. Stance on. I'm in top position, Noah's in bottom. Make sure that the other arm, the non-active arm, is still in the correct position. So you still have it aligned with approximately the chest, spine tall, sunk down and targeted. You know, for those of you who are already know the shapes, who already have a level of proficiency in singles, you can be working on the state. I know there's a lot of Wing Chun practitioners who have no understanding of the state and come to learn this from me. So you can be focused more on maintaining the state whilst doing your single sticking hands as well. So Noah is now in tan sao. As he initiates through to a palm strike, I go through to wu sao. So you don't just drop to low bong. You actually, as the person doing tan sao, you actually reach forward to palm strike. So Noah wants to actually go through to palm strike me. He meets the force, which rolls it down. Yeah, it's not that you just go, yeah. Well, there's no point in that. You're feeling the pressure to make it roll down. So, you know, if you're new to it as well, it's better that you practice slowly and get the feeling correct. Yeah. So then Noah goes through to palm strike. I change to wu, which then rolls him down to low bong. Yeah. Spine tall, square the body up. So you shouldn't feel lopsided either. You should feel the sense of evenness in your stance. Yeah. Now from here, I go through to punch. It rolls Noah up to high bong sao. Then Noah initiates into tan sao, and I maintain fuk forward to him. He goes to palm strike, I wu sao, I punch to high bong sao, stance on, spine tall, relax the hips, good. And then tan sao, palm strike, bong sao. Now, something important to remember, stance on, is that once you go to low bong sao, is that the reason this goes up is because you're going forward. Noah's reaching his hand forward, his elbows arcing into the center forward, spine tall. He is not pushing up. If he pushes up as I go forward, notice how I can actually collapse him, yeah? Yeah, so. From here, as I go to punch, he maintains like he wants to reach towards me so that, I'll explain this a bit differently. If I put pressure into Noah's elbow, keep your spine tall, focus forward to me. If I put pressure in through his elbow to his shoulder, see how it naturally will spin up like this, yeah? It naturally just spin up. I'm not going to be able to push his elbow into his shoulder. I'm not going to powderize and collapse his humerus, right? So, he senses, so he gets that connection of structure so that as I push, for example, from the forearm, that force can travel through the arm to his spine and then roll up to bong sao. So it's his forward aiming which connects the forearm from the elbow to the fingers, that as I press with my punch, it rolls the bong sao up. So it is very much a rollingness, not a liftingness. So as I put pressure towards Noah, as I punch, his bong sao will roll up. Yeah, that feels better. As opposed to push up against my arm. So let's just keep going through that sequence again together. So Noah now goes tan, palm, I punch, he rolls to high bong. Noah goes to tan sao, I roll in through fuk sao, slow down. He goes to palm strike, I use wu sao, rolling into low bong. I punch, he rolls to high bong. Noah goes tan sao, I maintain fuk sao, he goes palm strike. Good. Okay, so you can practice this over and over, and the feeling you're looking for is that the shapes roll. When you first start, you probably will get tense shoulders because your body wants to use force as opposed to structural alignment. And that's okay, that's normal. And what that does, it shows you, the tension shows you what you need to release. And the way to release that tension, if you're wanting to work on the internals of this, the way to release it, so let's just say Noah's feeling, for example, maybe some tension in this position, right? The way to release is Taigong, spine tall, centering your intention. So get the good feeling in the center. From that, start to then sink down while maintaining. Yeah, so now it's building that sinking connection, right? That ability to release tension under pressure. Okay, so practice a lot of your single sticking hands with your training partner. Do it, depends on how much you will be meeting up with your training partner. If you don't have a partner, just practice the shapes for now until you have one. If you have a training partner, I'd suggest you practice this for, I'd say at least a couple of months if you're meeting up, 1 to 3 times a week, until you get a good feeling for it. So then when you go into your double sticky hands, you have a much better understanding of the natural defensive mechanisms of the shapes. Okay, any questions? Put them in the community. If you'd like to actually train with me and the rest of the teacher trainees and students in our private academy, there should be a link down below, or just ask someone in the community, and I look forward to seeing you in our next video.